Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's episode, we're diving deep into one of the darkest chapters of American criminal history. This is the chilling story of John Wayne Gacy Jr., also known as the Killer Clown. A man who, beneath the veneer of a successful businessman and community volunteer, harbored a monstrous secret. And let's get started. John Wayne Gacy Jr., known infamously as the Killer Clown, left an indelible mark on American criminal history. A serial killer active during the 1970s, Gacy was responsible for the heinous crimes against 33 young boys and teenagers. Beyond the sheer number of his victims, it was the shocking duality of his life that has seared Gacy's name into the collective memory of the nation. Born on March 17, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, Gacy had a troubled upbringing. His father, John Wayne Gacy Sr., was an alcoholic and abusive towards him and his siblings. He struggled to gain the approval of his harsh father, who belittled him, contributing to a tumultuous and troubled childhood. His struggle to conform to the traditional masculine ideals his father valued would later cast a long shadow over Gacy's life. In his formative years, Gacy exhibited signs of troubling behavior. A significant early incident occurred when Gacy was 11. A head injury caused by a playground swing led to a series of blackouts, which persisted throughout his childhood. Despite these evident struggles, he was often overlooked or neglected, planting seeds for the monstrosity he would later become. On the surface, Gacy was a respectable, contributing member of society. A successful businessman, he managed 3 KFC franchises and owned a contracting company. His charm and affability won him admiration in social circles, and he was known for hosting elaborate street parties for his friends and neighbors. A civic-minded individual, Gacy became involved in local politics and community activities, even performing at children's parties and hospitals as Pogo the Clown. But beneath this veneer of respectability, a chilling darkness was festering. Behind the doors of his suburban home in Norwood Park Township, Gacy was a different person. The Killer Clown would lure his victims, often runaways or male prostitutes, with promises of construction work or money. His modus operandi was brutal: sexual assault, torture, and ultimately, murder, burying his victims beneath his house or discarding them in nearby rivers. The grim facade began to crumble in 1978. Robert Piest, a 15-year-old boy, disappeared on December 11 after telling his mother he was going to discuss a potential job with Gacy. When Piest didn't return, his parents alerted the police, triggering an investigation into Gacy. Law enforcement's response was initially lackluster, as the missing boy was classified as a runaway. However, the persistence of Piest's family and the mounting inconsistencies in Gacy's alibi turned the attention towards him. Despite early missed opportunities to apprehend Gacy, the noose began to tighten around the Killer Clown. Once the investigations began, a disturbing pattern emerged. Gacy's first known murder occurred in 1972 when he killed Timothy McCoy, a 16-year-old traveler from Michigan. Over 6 years, Gacy escalated his horrific crimes, with 1978 being his most brutal year, claiming 19 victims. Gacy's modus operandi also evolved over time. He would trap his victims using a trick he referred to as the handcuff magic trick, and then strangle them using what he called his rope trick. Amid these horrifying accounts, there were rare instances of escape. One such victim was a 15-year-old named Robert Donnelly, who survived a night of torture and later testified against Gacy. The investigation into Gacy was intensive, involving multiple agencies. The breakthrough came when Gacy, under surveillance, invited surveillance detectives into his home. They noticed a foul odor which they later identified as decaying bodies. After obtaining a search warrant, the police discovered the bodies of 29 victims beneath Gacy's house and the surrounding property. The critical piece of evidence, a class ring belonging to one of the victims, was discovered in Gacy's possession. On December 21, 1978, Gacy was arrested, ending the reign of one of America's most notorious serial killers. Delving into the mind of a monster like Gacy is no small feat. Psychiatrists and criminologists have attempted to understand the triggers and motives behind his grisly crimes. Many posit that Gacy suffered from antisocial personality disorder, marked by a pattern of disregard for the rights of others and societal norms. Others believe that Gacy's difficult childhood and his struggle with his own sexuality significantly contributed to his criminal behavior. The duality he exhibited, the community volunteer and the Killer Clown, has been seen as Gacy's attempt to reconcile with these conflicting aspects of his personality. However, these analyses can only provide us with conjectures, not absolutions. Gacy's trial began on February 6, 1980, drawing national attention. Throughout the proceedings, Gacy seemed unaffected by the gravity of his actions, often smirking or joking, which unsettled many observers. His defense, led by attorneys Sam Amarant and Robert Motta, argued that Gacy was insane, even though Gacy himself had initially insisted he was sane and ready to stand trial. The courtroom drama was laden with shocking revelations. One such moment came when Gacy's defense produced a psychiatric report, claiming Gacy had multiple personalities. The prosecution, led by William Kunkel, refuted this claim, presenting Gacy as a calculated predator fully aware of his actions. After a 2-week trial, the jury took less than 2 hours to convict Gacy of 33 counts of murder. He was sentenced to death, a decision Gacy met with a chilling nonchalance. Gacy spent 14 years on death row before he was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994. The shockwaves of Gacy's crimes reverberated throughout the community, leaving lasting scars on the victims' families and society as a whole. The pursuit of justice was a long and arduous journey for these families. It took decades for some of the victims to be identified, with the final victim only being confirmed in 2017, nearly 4 decades after the horrific crimes. Gacy's capture did not end the trauma for his victims' families. They had to grapple with the loss of their loved ones, public scrutiny, and the chilling knowledge of the suffering their children had endured. Despite this, they played a crucial role in keeping the investigation active and ensuring Gacy's conviction. Gacy's crimes had a profound impact on American culture, influencing media, art, and public perceptions of serial killers. His image as the killer clown became a symbol of pure evil, altering the perception of clowns as figures of fun and innocence to something far more sinister. His life and crimes have been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, movies, and even music. The fascination with Gacy seems unending, as new generations discover his story and struggle to comprehend the horrific acts he committed. Perhaps one of the most significant cultural impacts of Gacy's case has been the changes in law enforcement. The missed opportunities to apprehend Gacy earlier led to significant changes in police procedures, especially in cases involving missing children and teenagers. Despite the horror of Gacy's crimes, it's crucial to reflect on the lessons learned. The case highlights the importance of understanding psychopathy and antisocial behavior for early detection and intervention. It underlines the need for societal vigilance, proper police procedures, and the importance of support systems for victims' families. While it's unsettling to study such dark facets of human nature, doing so can provide valuable insights that may help prevent future tragedies. The legacy of John Wayne Gacy Jr. serves as a grim reminder of the potential darkness that can lurk beneath the surface, even in seemingly ordinary individuals. Thank you for joining our journey today. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Until next time, and stay safe.